Alright, hello my fellow adventurers and welcome back to the Abyss. I'm the Rogue, and today I'm going to be doing more of the Putrid Ultra demo. Again, extremely excited for the full game to come out. I'm going to try the Crescent Banana today. Let's see, last week I did pretty well. See if I keep that up. I feel like this is more interesting. Honestly, I think that one of them, like, even, I'm not even sure, like, even if there weren't, like, wasn't even a third spell type, but even just more spells, which is obviously going to be in the full game, even just that, I think would be enough to make the game like just more enemies and areas and more enemies and areas and boss fights and that stuff, and then just more spells is gonna be so amazing. Even if there aren't even if there's none of the other features, that's gonna be that's really all this. One sec. Piercing. I probably want to go. Now that I think about it, I'm not even sure if there is a piercing fire spell. Yeah. I still haven't gotten. I still haven't heard back on about lasers yet. So it is still possible that the element is going to be lasers. I don't know. But now that I've beaten enough runs, I am trying to go for a build where I don't take the max health, because it just kind of takes up an upgrade, like a time when I can get another upgrade. Instead, I just have to take the max health. So if I can not take it, so as long as I can avoid getting hit, which is not something I'm very good at, I can hopefully do pretty well. I might just have to take things at a bit of a slower, take the run at a bit of a slower pace, which is something that I don't want to do, but also it might help, and alright, what we obviously want to do here is want to hit piercing. I think also things like status effects, like maybe if, there were some, fire spells that could set enemies on fire, dealing damage over time, and if there were ice spells that could freeze enemies, which would, slow them down, maybe. And, there were some spells that applied, status effects like that. As I think I said, maybe a thing where it's there was a melee weapon type, spell type. It's melee spells can reflect projectiles or something. Just that sort of thing could be really cool. Could add a really cool additional strategy. I think that a cumulative spell type as well. That would probably that might be too specific, but I do like the mechanic of spells where every time you cast them, it stacks +1 time, with the glacial axe. I really like it. Alright, yep. Nothing here. Honestly, though, for the flame orbital, I know that none of these have. One sec. What do I want to take here? Let's just go homing. For the flame orbital, I'm not sure which I like better. The Pico 8 version, where it's every 10 shots you get 4 flame orbitals, or this one where it's every 4 shots you get 1. And well, it seems like since in this one there is on average, the average is less, it still does have, like, it's just a different, spell style. Honestly, I think that adding the outward spiraling ice as a separate, separate from the permanent ice orbital. If you had an ice orbital spell that spiraled outwards like the Pico 8 one, pretty much just taking the Pico 8 spells and adding all, like, maybe not like the Poison Cloud, because, but like, yeah, if, what other spells even are there? I'm trying to think of them. There was the, oh yeah, what if there was, like, what if there were, I mean, there could also, I mean, theoretically be like, element-less spells that are, like, just, like, bullet, or, like, not exactly an element, but if there was, like a special element-y thing called bullet, and you have, like, and that would contain a lot of the spells from Pico 8 that don't have elements, and some of them would function similarly, but it would be like, but instead they just have their basic Pico 8 mechanic. That might mess up the way the game works, though, I guess. Let's go for clip size. I do think it's funny how in the Pico 8 thing the damage upgrade was so bad because it was +1 damage, and then the clip size was much better because it was the +2 clip. Oh. Alright, I'm gonna want to go for more piercing. I'm curious. I wonder if, like, I can get to a point where I can win with pretty much any, like, build, basically. Oh, darn it, my third spell option isn't any of the... I could go for another homing. Wait, no, I didn't take a homing. Did I take a homing? What did I take? Oh, that's something this game needs. You need to be able to see what you have. I do think I have homing, now that I say it, but that is something that, now that I think about it, the game definitely needs. You need, while you're on an upgrade screen, you need to be able to look at what you have. Also, I think that, yeah, you definitely need to be able to look at the stuff you have, so that you know what, so you know what you should, like, so, because just there, I ended up being right, but, like, later in the game, for example, if I have, like, I had only, like, 2 upgrades, not counting the Frost Boomerang, so later in the game, if I have, like, 7 upgrades, I'm not going to be able to remember what they all are, 7 spells, so I need to, you definitely need a way of seeing what, let's see, what other things do I think are important? Oh yeah, I think that if there was some, like, item system, I really think that, like, if, I don't know, maybe after each, like, of the mini-bosses, the champions or whatever they're called, the elite enemies, I think, if, like, after each of those, you were given, like, also, like, either instead of, like, separate from the, like, you get, did I break it? I don't know what happened there, but I think I broke something. But if you got, like, a choice between 3 items as well, that could be where things like your, like, melee things reflect projectiles. what other things there'd be. Maybe Rapid would fire an extra projectile or something. Like, stuff like that. And, or maybe there'd be one that's like... Like... Maybe there'd be some items where it's like, if you have a specific either spell or active spell, that item buffs that one thing. Such as maybe, instead of your active spell being the rapid arrows, if it was turned into like a burst of, like a laser burst, for example, that instantly that had piercing and hit the intent, instantly hit the, in a whole line. There we go. That could be like that, maybe, for the sword. I'm not sure what the sword would have, and I'm not sure, Maybe for certain, but maybe there'd be like an item for each, for like, at least like one or two items. This would be an absurd number of items, but like, at least, maybe there'd be like either a handful of different items for your active spells, maybe there'd be some passive items that are like, when you take the HP up, you get an extra health from it, like instead of getting 2, you get 3, for all future health ups, and maybe like you gain some health now. Maybe there'd be one, like, or maybe some of them would just give you, like, stat bonuses. Maybe some of them would boost multiple stats at once. But I'm not sure what else. There we go. Snowball Volley, my first. Okay, good. I've got a rapid spell. This is possibly going to be an ice run and possibly going to be a non-elemental run. Maybe there'd be one, maybe there'd be one item that's like, you deal extra damage to bosses and elite enemies. Maybe there'd be one, what else? This could be where status effects come in. Maybe like your ice spells have a 2% chance to slow an enemy on hit, or your fire spells have a such and such % chance to set an enemy on fire on hit. I don't know, whatever the third element would be, but maybe there'd be one that's just all choices, you now have a fourth choice. Maybe one like maybe some of them would just be stuff like that, or maybe like more damage. The spells equipped on your the mods on your active spell have a higher chance to activate. Maybe an item that adds extra projectiles to your shot, like maybe one that you fire an extra projectile upwards, or something, or maybe like, when you do a double jump, you fire a projectile downwards. That would be a pretty, like, low quality item, but it would just be a simple extra thing. Maybe like, when you roll, you fire a projectile behind you. That sort of thing. Just like different, like, things like, maybe some form of permanent familiar could also be cool, like characters, like, especially fitting in with, like, the spell aspect, if, like, you could maybe at some point in a run, like, pick a familiar or something. Okay, cool, I can get another rapid spell. I'm also really excited to see how I'm excited to, experience having things like multiple mods on a weapon. that's a mechanic, because I think I was talking to the developer, and I think what he was saying was that the weapon mod, that the way it's gonna work is there's gonna be 3 areas, and each area you get to add a mod to your weapon, which means at the 3rd area you will have by the end area, by the final boss you'll have 3 mods on your weapon, which means and if you get 3 spells per area, and then get 1 mod per area, that's basically 4 spells per area, so that will mean that by the final boss you will pretty much have 13 spells. And I know it sounds like I just did math wrong, but that's because I'm counting the active spell. So you will have you start with an active spell, that's 1, then you get 3 spells and a mod in, hold on a sec. Then you get 3 spells and a mod, so that's 5. But then another 3 spells and a mod, that's 9. And then another set, and then it's 13. But yeah, so a cool, like, item set would be, like, items would be cool, like that. Alright, yep, fair enough. That was a really dumb decision. Alright, so this is just a public service announcement. If you see spikes, do not jump into them, they hurt. Alright, thank you for listening. Anyway, I seem to be quite, like, it's funny, I always end up dying. I feel like in games like this, like, just in roguelikes in general, I always end up, like, dying in the most absurd circumstances. Like, it doesn't feel like it should be a circumstance where, like, I fail, but I manage to do it anyway. Let's take a damage up. I might want to actually go for health with this one simply because the close range. Oh, that could be cool. Maybe there'd be one, like, maybe there'd be a spell that's, or, a passive item. Again, it's just an idea, but, like, you have a, like, 0.01% chance, but it's close combat, sorry. You have, like, a 0.01% chance of healing 1 hit point when you hit with a close combat spell for each close combat spell you have. I know that's complicated, and it's partly because I phrased it badly, but what I'm saying is, what's that? Frost Orbital. I don't actually think that's close combat. Taking it anyway. But what I mean is, I'm trying to figure out how to words here. So, if you have it, and you hit with a, if you have a close combat spell, and you hit with the spell, you have, and deal damage to an enemy, you have a, like, 0.01, which is, one sec. That might be too low, I don't know. 0.01 would be 1 in 10,000, which is kind of absurdly low. Maybe 0.1 or something, which would be 1, should just be 1 in 1,000, not 1 in 10,000. But, like, that's the chance to heal whenever you deal damage with a close combat spell. The gimmick would be that it's not just such a low, not just that low a chance. For, let's say if you have 1 close combat spell, that's the chance. But if you have 2 close combat spells, then the chance will stack, then the chance is doubled. So if you have 2 close combat spells, it's actually a 2 in 1,000, let's say, chance for it to trigger. So, like, if you had a build focused around close, and maybe there'd be different effects based on which, like, spell subtype, was the, item revolved around. Like, maybe, maybe rapid would be, there is a small chance for the count, like the shot count not to get reset upon it triggering, meaning it'll trigger 2 shots in a row. And maybe it's like low chance, but it stacks for each copy, each rapid spell you have. Maybe it'd be a higher chance, where like if you took 100% rapid spells, maybe it'd be like a 1 in 13 chance. So if you had all the spells, it would be an exact thing. Ooh, do I take that? Which do I take? That. I think other cool fire spells, though, there could be cool fire spells, like, there's just a simple homing flare, but I think, like, a homing rocket, that's just an idea that would be cool. I hope I can get, yeah, I don't know, I think also, though, as I said, if there was, like, maybe like an option to, like, use classic spells or something that would bring back the Pico 8 spells, I don't know. But, like, I think it'd be cool if there was, let's say, like, 2, of the Fireball spell, like the Fireball Orbital spell, and one of them is you get 4 Fireballs every 10 shots, and the other was, you get 1 Fireball every 4 shots, or however it is now. And then there could also be, what else? Oh yeah, there's the Rapid Arrow spell. That doesn't have an element at the moment, so that's kind of why I think I'm gonna assume that's part of why it's, just like a normal spell, but, like I meant an active spell, but then other spells. But yeah, maybe stuff about, like, dealing more damage, maybe, like, or maybe Ice would, like, apply a status effect to enemies where, like, every hit you got with an Ice spell would this would maybe be, like, if there were, like, item rarities, maybe it'd be, like, a legendary item. If you hit with, let's say if you hit with every time you deal Ice damage to an enemy, that enemy takes 1 more damage from all future Ice damage. Like a weakness, like a fragile effect, where that like stacks. So if you hit an enemy once, they take 1 extra damage. And maybe there'd be like a fire version of that as well, where it's like every time you hit an enemy, maybe the fire would also be cumulative. Like every time you hit an enemy, like, now they're on fire and take 1 damage like every second or every half second, and then for each time you hit, it stacks, so like maybe 2 hits would be plus take 2 damage per second. I'm not sure, but these again would probably be really late, either late game or like really powerful, like legendary or whatever. That was a feature. So let's see, spell choice. Rapid, close combat, rapid. Wait a minute. I definitely made a really stupid thing in taking the homing flare, seeing as I am incapable of remembering the fact that I am going for a close combat build. I took a rapid homing spell, which is not close combat, and, well, that would definitely have been helpful to see what my active and current, like, passive spells were before taking it, so I didn't make such a dumb mistake. It's alright, though. I can live with it. Yeah. I do like the redo of the graphics. I do like the way that's done. Like, the spotlight's amazing. It definitely helps me keep track of my character. Fire damage up. Alright. Can my build, which happens to have 1 non-close combat spell, successfully take out the first boss? I think I said this before also, but another thing that I would love to see is just, like, mod support, but not really. like, it would be mod support, but it would probably be just like, you can customize the music and the graphics, and that's it. Even if there was just like folders for it, like a folder where you can place, and like, that would be really awesome as just like a feature where just like, you can have an entirely customized experience, but like, it's the same gameplay, it just looks different. I think that could be really, really cool. Because I assume this is done via sprite sheet. The only thing that possibly isn't, from how it was done in Pico 8, I know that most of it is, at least assuming that he sees this, like, most of the same stuff is in Pico 8, it's done via sprite sheet, except for, like, the platforms, which possibly aren't. Alright, so that was 2 out of 3 wins today. I'm going to be wrapping up here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye!